Before I do anything, let me oh, no, I can't show you that because it's the main phone. Okay, we're on 4G, 2 bars. I was going to show you this one dude, but I guess it's not meant to be, right? He's a local politician, and it has something to do with this guy I'm going to tell you about. Okay, so does anybody know how to vote? And I don't know. Well, first of all, check the signal. Let's see if it's popping up here. Of course, it's not. Okay. Looks like the signal's working good. Clear up one of the words I used the other day. I said a human quality. I didn't mean human quality, I meant a human attribute. If I'm using that correctly. You know, the way humans are. What the hell is this? These guys freaking nuts, man. Idiots. I throw these damn things away, and they're sending me more of this stupid crap. Idiots. Okay. So, let me see if I can. Oh, now my computer wants to shut down all the time. I know it's so much a hassle getting started in here. Okay. Let's plug this way and see what she does. Okay. Let's go enter. Oh, it's this one, that's why. Okay. Yeah, it's heavy right there. It's a plastic table and it's all wobbly. And the TV monitor never wants to turn on right. Okay, enter. It's always hit or miss with it. Okay, there it is. Okay. So, it's such a mess in here. I need to clean this clutter up, but just can't get motivated to do it. And so did everybody watch the video I put up on my Facebook? My Facebook is Barney Valenzuela. So I posted a video up there because I started thinking about some stuff today, and so before we get into it and start talking about stuff, I just wanted to share one thing. this country is screwed up a lot because we have such a high divorce rate. And, people they just can't seem to wrap their head around the idea of this infidelity, cheating, right? Your wife having extramarital affairs with other people, it's a betrayal, right? And so you have what happened here last week. Guy takes this girl out and does the unthinkable. And so there's a lot of that going on. A lot of guys are losing it. A lot of guys are losing it. There's still one pistachio in there. And not only that one, another guy just got sentenced to 30 to life for taking out his girlfriend's mom. It's right here. Because of our culture, people's belief, machismo. That's not our culture, that's Mexico culture. Machismo. And that's where our cultures clash completely, 100%. And but people have been brainwashed to think a certain way in every culture. Every culture has fallen angels, reptilian shapeshifters, bad guys pretending to be the good guys and have all the money, and they're not sharing it, right? They won't share a buck, even though they got billions, because the more money you get, the more stingy you get. Everybody knows that. Okay, so what they don't realize is that in other cultures, a man does not have just one wife. In other cultures, a man has multiple wives. So that would be the equivalent of, say, the people who are the head honchos in our government right now. Who is it? J.D. Vance and the other guy. Are they married? I would imagine you'd have to be married to hold that public figure, right? Even if it was a mail order bride, right? It's just not right to be in that position without a wife, right? And but it would be like the equivalent of J.D. Vance having his wife, whoever she is, and be having that Carolyn, right? Is it Carolyn? I think it's Carolyn with the K. The blonde girl who's the spokesperson, the younger one. And then there's that other one, the other blonde girl. I don't know what her name is, but she's the one with the long hair. It'd be the equivalent of him having his wife and having those two along with it. People can't wrap their head around that idea. So other cultures, they got a few of them, right? A few hot chicks. And so I just wanted to toss that in before we get on with today's topic, today's subject. My contribution to the live streams today is going to be bringing you up to speed on this tricky topic. Very tricky. And so I put a video up. How come there's no people in comments? Is there any people in here? There's a ton of people in here. Oh no, there's only one person in here. What the hell's going on? That was a long introduction. Okay. First of all, let me show you this. This is still available on Amazon. You can rent it. I've never rented a video off Amazon before, so I don't know how you do it, but you can rent it for $3.97, or you can buy it for $9, the DVD. And it's got a few different pictures on it. It's got one where it's got 3 people's faces on it, but one way you can find it is by typing in Lily. What's her last name? Taylor, I think. Yeah, Lily Taylor. Where is this? Okay, it's by Sam Green and Bill Siegel. Okay. This documentary is by Sam Green and Bill Siegel. But when I was looking on Amazon, it mentioned Lily on here. Okay. So, where is it? Okay. Oh. Well, I don't know where it's at right now. Okay, but it's narrated by Lily Taylor. This is the Weather Underground. Okay, it's a DVD, and you can actually, it's on YouTube. If you search for the Weather Underground, there'll be like 3 of them. One is 7 minutes, the other one's an hour and 30 minutes, the other one's like 27 minutes. It's the one that's an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, that one's the full DVD. Somebody loaded it up to YouTube so you can actually watch there. But if you want to buy it, it's available at Amazon. I don't know how long it will be available at Amazon, because the last 2 DVDs that I promoted, they took them off the market. One, not books, these are video documentaries. One is The Murder of Fred Hampton. Took it off the market. Okay. The second one is Mad as Hell by Aaron Russo. Took it off the market. So I'm thinking this one will probably be taken off the market. Okay. And we'll see. But as for right now, it's available on Amazon. The Kevin Trudeau book and the Kevin Trudeau 12 CD audio set. I don't know. You can buy the set still for $10. They still have it available so that you can get it and listen to it in your car or wherever you have a CD player. But where it used to say listen right now for 99 cents, right? Audible, I think it's called Audible on Amazon. I don't see that anymore. I don't see where that's available anymore. But they got plenty of the whole CD sets for you to listen to. Okay. And Agents of Repression is difficult to find on Amazon. Okay. But they are out there. There's lots of them. From Thrifty Books, from Abe Books, or whatever. If you put into your Google search and then click on shopping, you'll see they're still available. And it also has a couple different covers to it. These are books that and material that you need to get the information from. Hence, that's why they're taking them off the market. And the reason why I say that is because the First Amendment auditors were obliterated for lack of knowledge. Okay, so all these materials that I just mentioned to you, that's where the knowledge is. It's knowledge of COINTELPRO, the secret intelligence agencies. Okay, all these materials that I just showed you tells you how they get down. Okay, and since they were not privy to this information, they got freaking obliterated. Okay, and so they need to get this information. And first, we start with this one. And Aaron Russo, that one you can, if you search hard, there's this one person called Collie Bates. It's the only one. If you watch some of them, you will not get the message. You will think it's stupid, and because COINTELPRO is putting them up there, they're messing up the sync, just totally screwing it so that you don't understand what it's talking about. Okay, so let me get on with the program here. And then I'll try and pull some of these things up. Okay, so yes, the First Amendment auditors, I can name a few. First of all, one that used to live right here in the next city over was Kern County Transparency. That's Kern County out that way. Bakersfield is Kern County. Bakersfield, California is Kern County. And well, he was living right by there, right? This little town. And it's in Kern County. So his channel was called Kern County Transparency. His name is Abad Gonzalez. Okay. His age, younger. Okay. And so that's one of them. Another one is Silence Boy. Okay. Down in the City of Angels, Southern California. Silence Boy was another First Amendment auditor here in California. And there's another one. There was this video that I'll probably show you right now. There's this one guy. I don't know exactly what his name is, but probably it says it on the video. He did this one. I just watched it. For some reason, the algorithm put it up there, right? I just typed in the auditor's name to see what was up with him, right? If he's making any videos, hasn't been making any videos for a while, just like all of them are not making live streams. And where before, in the heyday of it, when they just barely got on the scene, right? Nobody knew anything about this. It just started, you know, it was wild. And so you have these two auditors, and then the other dude that I just said, I don't know how it came up there on the algorithm, but it did. And it was right here where I'm at in the city, the next city over where the closest Walmart. It's in that city. Okay. And basically they were making law enforcement look like freaking uneducated dumbos. Okay. And so that's why they got rid of him, just like I said they were going to do. Okay. I was commenting all along that this is basically like the civil rights that was going on in the 1960s. That's why I showed you this video, right? I showed you this video. It's called The Weather Underground. It makes these protesters now who are protesting No King's Day look like a walk in the park. This is like a carnival, right? They're out there selling hot dogs and popcorn. This video will show you what real protests are about, standing up against freaking injustice. Okay? And so they had to get rid of it. And I was telling them all along, I was saying, watch COINTELPRO 101. That's a documentary. It's called COINTELPRO 101. It's basically the information that's in the book, Agents of Repression. But only Agents of Repression says some stuff that you would not believe. Like I told you about that 15-year-old girl, right? What the United States Attorney and the Attorney General of the state of, I think it was Dakota, took this girl out and did to her. And nothing happened to them. Right? It's unbelievable, but it's documented. You can see the court papers. The court papers that he filed for all this stuff. The documents are in the book. Okay? And it's also got other stuff. American Indian Movement, the Young Lords, the Latin Kings, all these different groups who are standing up against injustice. And so how did they do it? Well, what they do is they use Lucifer and the fallen angels, basically, is who they are. In my humble opinion, these agencies are Lucifer on earth. Read the books and you'll come to the same conclusion if you have any moral understanding of right and wrong. Okay? And so that's why if Lucifer does walk on earth, Lucifer runs these agencies. Okay? Unless you think that gunning down MLK with a freaking deer rifle is okay, then you'll agree with me that Lucifer is in these agencies, running these agencies. Okay? So these auditors were freaking, they had agents, informants, agent provocateurs all over them like flies on rice. Just like I said they were going to do. They use undercover agents. They use agent provocateurs. Okay? And you can see it right in the videos. They don't have a clue. You can spot them out. They're planted. They knew where you were going to be before you even got there that same day. And now with the technology they have, right? And so they knew where you're going to be because their informants are sitting there making the videos with you. That's their modus operandi. That's how they get down. How do you think they've been doing it? They have paid informants, snitches, agent provocateurs, have people staged, acting like they're there to collect welfare benefits. They're agents undercover, right? And that was one way. Okay, you remember what happened to Huey Newton. Okay, this is basically the same thing. And especially if you can outsmart them, oh man, they can't handle it. They have to have the last word. And that's what Huey Newton had. And they use their own people in your community with the almighty dollar to do it. That's how they do it. And they're not going to get caught because they do whatever the hell they want to. If you don't believe it, read Agents of Repression and you'll see they do whatever the hell they want to. Okay? And so if you don't know who they are, if you don't know that it's Lucifer, you don't know who's against you, right? You're completely unarmed. A sitting duck. And so not only did they take him out like this, giving him hell, just like they did with Huey Newton, surrounded him where he was living, his apartments, bam, 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 all around him. Agent provocateurs, acting like regular, normal people. I know this firsthand for a fact. When I first started getting into this, and I first found out about Kevin Trudeau, I was living over in a place, I won't say where. I was living over in a place, and his freaking moving truck pulls up, the freaking door flops up. They freaking come up, pull it, and here's this dude living right next beside me in a matter of hours. Okay, where do you see that at? Right? In all the time I've been here, that's the only time I've seen something like that. And so here he's freaking slamming the doors and all this crap, police coming over and all this stuff. And then he's just sitting there laughing because he's one of them, these reptilian shapeshifters. I've even showed people these government agencies like the FTC, FDA. I've showed people. I said, look at this guy. It looks exactly like this guy. I was here at the library, and this dude walks in there, and I walked up to the librarian, and I said, look. And I showed her, and she's like, right? And this, the satellites that connected everything together, that ended 6 degrees of separation, if you've ever studied psychology. Okay? There is no 6 degrees of separation with all the satellites that have been put up there and the worldwide internet. You remember we couldn't even talk to China before? That's all that firewall has been taken down. This is worldwide now. That's absolute power. Okay? And so they went after him because they were exposing all kinds of stuff. They were exposing the facade that if you have a badge, you're smart. Yeah, you might be smart how to screw somebody over. But as far as really knowing the law, they didn't. And so I'll leave it at that. So all these things were being exposed, and they can't have that. That's why I told you they were gonna put it out. They were gonna obliterate it, and that's exactly what they did. Go to their channels now. Go to their channels now. Why aren't they doing a live feed? Ask yourself, why don't they do a live feed? Well, Silence Boy does do a live feed. He done one the other day. Guess how many people were in the room? 15. Okay? Before they would have 1,000. I would say that's obliterated. Wouldn't you? And so, for whatever reasons, they must be giving them hell. If you look back, I went back and searched the other persons. He hasn't done a live stream in 7 months. But he just went and did a live stream, but not anything. He was just saying what was going on. This was 6 days ago. Just by chance. And he said, what's going on? And, he's over in Los Angeles and he's not liking it. Well, of course, because they're all over him like flies on rice. This is serious. This is like the civil rights that was going on, the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the Black Panther Party, the Latin Kings, the Young Lords, the American Indian movement. It's the same thing. It's standing up for your constitutional rights. It's the same thing. Okay? But now it's a whole different animal with live streams. They had to put that out. Okay? Because the camera is more powerful than the gun of what was going on back in the 60s, because they had the microphone, mainstream media. Now everyone has access to it. Before, all you could do is watch it. Now you can talk to the people. Watching the news, you can talk to them now. Like this. Okay. So, that's how they do it. They infiltrate them. They buddy with them. This is how they do it. This is what I call the Judas effect. If they did it to Fred Hampton, you don't think they could do it to you? with William O'Neill, what he done. And so that's one way. Another way how they got rid of these people was Hollywood wanted in on it. Okay? And so did the people down on the streets. You know, the streetwalkers, the ones selling drugs, the hustlers, con artists. They got wind of it and they wanted in on it. And you know, if you've taken psychology like I have, my psychology teacher told me that the best psychologists are not the ones who've studied like I have. The best psychologists are con artists on the street. They're naturals. Okay? They got wind of what was going on and they wanted in on it. Okay? How did they get wind? Well, they found out that one of these auditors was making bank. Just like all these, the law enforcement that they would be, you know, coming against, they were like, you guys are scum and you freaking lowlifes and stuff. And then when they find out that these dudes are making bank, right? The look on their face is like, and so word got out that he was making this one here in Kern County. It's called Kern County Transparency. They found out that he was making $750,000 a year making these videos. That's how much YouTube was paying him, because the videos were going viral left and right. Okay? Making tons of them every day out there, just tearing it up. Why? Because it takes a certain kind of person to do it. You don't believe me? Pick up your camera and go out there and try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? And so they were like $750,000 watching it. Hey, I can do this, right? So not only did they go out there and start doing it, everybody picked up their phone and started going out there and copying what these guys were doing, but they didn't understand the law. So they get freaking throwing them in jail. You have to understand the law to be able to do this. And he understands the law. And he's got a court case going on right now over here in Fresno County. And they're just going to dismiss it, right? After they've done all this stuff. And so all these, you know, thugs and con artists and they all start picking up their phone. They wanted in on it, right? A lot of them, they didn't know what the hell they're doing because their heart wasn't in the right place. What these First Amendment auditors were doing was they were standing up for the First Amendment, okay? Your freedom of speech, freedom of religion, whatever. They were standing up for the First Amendment. These other people could care less. They just wanted the money. Okay? And so that's the thing. Yes, you can make a lot of money. Go in and watch Kern County Transparency, or just type the guy's name in. Once you type his name in, it'll start throwing up all kinds of videos in your algorithms, in your feed, right? You just type in his name, Abad Gonzalez, Abad Sandoval Gonzalez, to be more specific. and then you'll start seeing all his live feeds. I mean, all his videos. Um, but they're from a long time ago. Then slowly they started putting them out, putting them out. Then you can, they started flooding him with fake people, right? And they just destroyed his videos. They just started crapping out till they just completely put it out. But if you watch the early ones when it first came out, before they edited all of them, you'll see why this guy started becoming a superstar. Self-made superstar, completely bypassed Hollywood. So Hollywood was like, I want in on this, right? So what Hollywood started doing is they started putting freaking First Amendment auditors left and right all over the whole United States, not just here in California. All over the whole freaking United States, there was First Amendment auditors. So what they did was they watched his videos, okay? They watched his videos and they took it and they copied it. So they had fake people pretending to be regular people making First Amendment audits. They were just copying what he did, but it was fake. This is the stuff they can do and get away with it. This is COINTELPRO probably hired Hollywood to do some of them, but Hollywood was probably trying to just make some money, cash in on it themselves. That's what they were doing. I would say 95% of all the First Amendment auditors out there are fake. Okay? It's difficult to tell the real ones from the fake ones. But I can attest to this. I've seen the guy in person. Okay? And these two, I can tell you, are probably the most real ones you'll find. Okay? But you can watch all the other people they coupled up with. There's another guy who actually, he was like the number one. He was like the king, right? He was San Joaquin. You can check him out too, and he's got his family actually doing videos. I'll probably go in and see what he's doing later, but for right now, I just it's been the years are going by so quick that I just I decided to check out and see what's going on, because I've noticed Silence Boy has been coming up on the vertical live feeds, even though there's only 15 people. But that it flashed up to 145, so I don't know what's up with that, but it went right back down to like 15. So that's what's going on with the First Amendment auditors. And yeah, the criminals, the con artists said, hey, we can do that. Let's do it without no COINTELPRO. These are people down at, the con artists. The con artists were like, well, they get out there and start fake fighting, right? The views start going up, and YouTube loves it, right? Because YouTube's making money off advertising. So these people get out there and they start fake fighting with each other, right? They done it on their own. They were faking it. Hollywood was faking it, and COINTELPRO, the secret intelligence agencies, were faking it. Okay? To swerve it back to their narrative. Just like they finally found out. Remember cops? Everybody was crazy about cops. Everybody across the nation was watching cops. Then they found out they weren't even real. It was fake. It was freaking Hollywood. And yeah, I didn't find out till like, a few years back. Then I saw what was going on. Hollywood got in there. They were filming it. The cops might have been real, but it was staged. And so just like these people, when they come into these buildings, they had people sitting down there acting like they were waiting to see, the welfare department or the DMV. and it was staged. It was an agent provocateur, was just sitting there waiting for him, right? And you can spot them. Okay, so that's why, in order for them to know their opponent, the one who's trying to obliterate them, just like they did, their opponent is Lucifer and the fallen angels. To learn about Lucifer and the fallen angels, you have to learn about the reptilian shapeshifters, and you're not going to find out who they are by doing research online. All the research you do online is bullcrap, and all the videos that are put out there are bullcrap. You have to read the book directly from the source, which is The Biggest Secret by David Icke. Hence, why do you think he's banned in 30 European countries and banned on YouTube and banned on Facebook? Okay? Because he's telling you who these mofos are. Lucifer and the fallen angels. He calls them reptilian shapeshifters. Okay? It's all documented in that book. And yeah, so how did they find out about the $750,000? There's this website called starstat.yt. I guess YT stands for YouTube. Starstat.yt. You go there, you put the person's channel, and it tells you how much money they're making. Okay? When he told this one, I just watched this one today, and when he told the cop, that he could make $500 a day, the cop nearly fell over backwards, right? And yeah. And so another psychological aspect of it, when these First Amendment auditors were first starting to take off, right? Nobody knew who the hell they were, right? And immediately word just spread like crazy, especially with government workers, people who worked at the DMV, at the Welfare Department, Child Protective Service. They were freaking all ears, man, right? And everybody started catching on, but for some reason, everybody tried to act like if they didn't watch them on YouTube for some reason. And I started telling when I'd see Silence Boy, this is right around the time when he had that video that went viral. And he made, I think, $30,000 off one video that went viral. It made like $12,000 in one day. And I would always put comments in there. I'm like, you don't think they know who you are, right? By this time, everybody already knew who they were. So people were acting different because they already knew. There was a lot of psychology involved with it. And so they started coming back from watching the videos, right? They were waiting for them now, because they were all over Los Angeles and all over the DMVs, the whatever. They were just like, man, I hope those guys in the post offices, they were like, I hope those guys don't come over here. And boom, here they are, right? Because everybody was trying to cash in on the money too. And so there was a lot of psychology there. And so now it's completely different. If they go out there now, it's completely different because everybody on the face of planet Earth, well, at least in the United States, everybody knows who they are now. That's how popular. Well, look, $750,000 a year. You know how many people are watching these damn things? Right? This is like the power of mainstream media. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because on these two it was real. It wasn't fake. That's why they put it out. That's why they obliterated them. Okay? But you can go on, and if you start looking for these, you're going to get all kinds of, going to flood you with the First Amendment auditors. And I already told you, 95% of them are fake, even though you might think they're real. Okay? And now, yeah, that's the evolution of how the citizens got the word, because mainstream media wasn't talking about them. They started to after a while, a little bit, telling the people about who they were. But this was all, word of mouth. And, the internet, the live streams. This is when YouTube live streams hit the ground running. Okay? So the people's behavior changed as the people started getting wind of what was going on, and that it's your First Amendment right to film whatever the hell you want to if you're out in public. Right? They couldn't understand that. And so even a lot of the older videos that they made were really good. Well, they're not really good anymore because they've all been edited. You can see where they clip. When you're watching, you can see all the stuff they had to clip because YouTube started telling them to take all this crap out. In order to comply with, to be monetized, to make money on YouTube, you have to take this out. You have to take this out. You have to take this out. So it turned into freaking Candy Camera. You can go and watch them. If you like watching Candy Camera, you'll like them. But what they were before was completely different because it was real. It was real out there on the streets, what was going on. Okay? And, yeah. Okay. So the reason why they went after this auditor is because what I've noticed, I've studied the civil rights 1960s and watched all the footage from the 60s. And this person, his thinking process was like Huey Newton. Okay? It's like boxing, right? And not losing control, and being able to step back and look objectively at what's happening. Okay? This is something people do not know how to do. And Huey Newton knew how to do this. And he could be in front of, a group of people and still be able to keep track of what's going on with each person in the group. This is why they went after him. Okay? Because he knew how to do this. That's how come he knew how to control the 12th jury, the 12 people that were in the jury, and made them crack up laughing. Right? And so because he could step back and see what was going on and look at the whole thing and himself objectively. And that's the best way I can describe it. And so, yeah, okay. Okay, so that's all I've got for right now. And thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for leaving comments. And and talk to you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'd show you something up here, but this thing is so slow. It's so slow to show you anything. Just go look for it yourself. Type the guy's name in there, and that's all I can say for right now. Until I get a place where I can have high-speed internet, where I can actually show you this stuff, so that you can go in and check the stuff out for yourself. Signing out. Today is Saturday, November the 1st, 2025. You that's in the comments that asking if I remember you, no, I've never seen you in here before. But thanks for leaving a comment.